The Charitable Ponsonby-Smythe by me, Matt Wingett. It was the vicar who ate Mrs. Ponsonby-Smythe, sorely missed mother and proud housewife, whose spouse paid the preacher to plant by her grave a clipping of rosebush. £10 he then gave to the fund for the restoration of the roof. Not from this sum could the priest stand aloof, and soon the old gardener in Wellington boots interred the fine bush, whose hungering roots dug deeper and deeper as the leaves spread and flourished, grew greener and greener as the roots fed and nourished themselves on the box of poor Mrs. Smythe, and then on the contents decaying inside. 10 summers rolled round, and the bush, tall and strong, was trimmed by the gardener, who then took along the clippings to a corner of the old graveyard, where he piled them up neatly, unwilling to discard such stuff, for he ne'er threw a thing away. And the rosebush, it blossomed on Mrs. Smythe's grave. The vicar, out walking, was then heard to say of Mrs. Smythe's bush, "What a fine bouquet! The gardener knows how to grow these things well. Such a glorious odour, a body in the smell. I must make some use of such a fine catch. I'll ask him to tend to my vegetable patch. I'll offer him money and see how he feels." The gardener, when asked, replied, "It's a deal. I know how to grow the prizest of marrows." And he started next day with his wheelbarrow to move the fine compost from the old heap in the graveyard where Ponsonby-Smythe used to sleep, and her atoms residing in clipping of rosebush. He moved with a grunt and a shove and a push, and soon Mrs. Smythe was there to be found, all over the garden, strewn all around. And several months later she was served to the vicar as potato and carrots, and he took her with liquor in the form of a homebrew of rose-petal wine. Dear Mrs. Ponsonby-Smythe, what a way to end your time! At harvest, the vicar, not being greedy, distributed you to the poor and the needy. And though you are not so thoughtful in life, the poor can all thank you, dear Mrs. Smythe. This rhyme-simple moral is clear to us all of how in death we are all equal, whilst monuments mark the place where we sleep. It's only a glorified compost heap. Thank you, and God bless you all.